a submarine which is distressed or which has gone through an accident and is unable to come up from the seafloor, just to rescue the crew of the submarine, we have this system. That system itself is a mini submarine which can go down underwater, sit on top of a submarine, take the crew from the distressed submarine into the SRV, bring them back up and take them onto the ship. This is the basic function of the system. But to achieve these many functions, there are various support systems, auxiliary systems, which I'll be showing you during the webinar. Also a brief introduction on the ship itself. This is SCI Sabarmati. This is a ship owned and operated by Shipping Corporation of India. This has been hired by the Indian Navy for operating and deployment of the submarine rescue system. One point in that respect, the original deck of the ship was wooden deck. However, we have stripped off the wooden deck at various places to enable the fitment of these systems. So you'll see there are ice and other obstructions jutting out from various places. So please be careful where you step. They are all tripping hazards. We have marked out a few just for your safety. Okay. So we'll now begin the tour of the system.
ये है विंच। मैं आपको बता दूंगा कि कैसे कैसे क्या क्या होता है यहाँ पे। और आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन का यहाँ पे सिलेंडर्स है। दिस इज ऑल द सपोर्ट सिस्टम।
SRV, okay, or the submarine rescue vehicle. So this is the most important part of the system. This itself is a mini submarine, okay, which is capable of going underwater, diving up to 650 meters of depth. So a submarine, a distressed submarine which is disabled at any depth up to 650 meters, this system will be capable of going and sitting on top of the submarine. It's in our parlance, it's called mating on top of a submarine. Okay, there will be a hatch on top of the submarine which is shaped something like this. So this system will go and sit on top of that hatch on the submarine. Thereafter, open the hatch and rescue the people, the crew inside the submarine, inside the system. This itself is divided into two parts. The forward part is the cockpit where the pilot and the co-pilot operates and navigates the SRV, and the aft part consists of a pressurized chamber called the rescue chamber. Okay, that is where the crew of the submarine from which the crew are being rescued are going to be placed. The chamber has a capability to pressurize people. Now, why is it required? Is because the deeper you go underwater, the atmospheric pressure keeps increasing. So if a submarine has developed a leak or something of that sort, the pressure inside the submarine would go above the normal atmospheric pressure. So when you take people out of such high pressure situation, they need to be taken out into the same pressure, high pressure. You cannot drastically reduce the pressure, otherwise they'll suffer health consequences. So this system is designed to do exactly that. So what has happened is, you pressurize this particular system, the rescue chamber of the SRV, to the same pressure as the submarine. Open the hatch, take the people out, maintain them in the same pressure. The pilot thereafter navigates the system to the surface of the water, and this yellow structure that you see, that's called the LARS, or the Launch and Recovery System. Okay, so that is nothing but a crane which lifts the SRV from the deck and places it in the water. And similarly, while recovering, it picks up the system from water and places it back on the deck. However, this is not just a normal crane, it's a very advanced equipment which has got several features like that vertical hanging structure that you see called swinging wing. It's got 4 axes of motion which will enable the system to keep the SRV very steady and even keel even when the sea is very rough. That's because there are people inside, we need to keep it stabilized. Similarly, like I showed you, this hatch, this is called a TUP or a transfer under pressure hatch. That is so because when you go down, you will see directly under this, where we standing, is something called DDC, deck decompression chamber. That is again a bigger version of the pressurized chamber which is there in the SRV. So the SRV is limited by its capability that it can carry 14 people at a time, 14 rescuees at a time. Whereas the deck decompression chambers, of which there are 3, 1, 2 and 3. So each of these can carry 30 people. So all in all, you can carry out depressurization of 90 people, which generally corresponds to the strength of a submarine, entire submarine crew. So the system is designed to carry out a rescue of an entire submarine crew. So once the system is recovered from water, the system is aligned on any one of the TUP hatches. Just like this hatch, there are 2 more hatches. One hatch is on which the system is already seated, and there is 1 more hatch beyond that. So you align, you decide which DDC is going to be used for the pressurization. Thereafter align it and sit down on the TUP hatch. And thereafter the rescuees are transferred while they are under pressure. The entire system is pressurized and the direct transfer happens. This is one of the unique rescue systems which has got this capability of direct transfer of the rescuees under pressure from the rescue vehicle to the decompression chamber. Okay, so what I have said so far, that comprises the major role of the entire system. Now to achieve these roles, there are various other equipment which you can see behind you. So also I'll draw your attention to the fact that certain of these systems are painted green, and while the other systems are painted yellow. So the green painted equipment signifies that they are the intervention system. So intervention is an activity that you require to complete before you can start your rescue operations. So by intervention, we mean as soon as you reach the site of a submarine accident, first you need to locate the submarine. Because submarine is sunk on the seabed, there is nothing to indicate that yes, the submarine is lying at this point. So first you need to stream something called a side scan sonar, which is contained in that small green box. Yeah. So you stream the side scan sonar, the ship carries out a search in that entire area till it locates the sunken submarine. Now once the approximate location of the submarine is located on the side scan sonar, the yellow equipment there, that is called the ROV, or the remotely operated vehicle. Alright, so the ROV is nothing but underwater vehicle which is operated remotely from the control cabin, which is the other green container placed there. Now the ROV has got its own cameras at various locations. The ROV has also got its own hydraulic manipulator arms. So once you lower the ROV, you locate the exact position of the submarine. In case there are things like wires or other underwater objects obstructing the submarine, we can use the hydraulic arms to clear those obstructions. It has even got a washing facility by which you can wash the surface of the submarine so that it is made ready for the SRV to come and mate. So once the ROV carries out its survey of the surveillance of the area, clearance of the obstructions, it comes back up and we keep readiness for the SRV to go and mate. So thereafter, Commander VK Singh here is the pilot of the SRV. He is going to be navigating it underwater. He is going to be carrying out the mating operations of the SRV with the distress submarine, and he is going to bring the rescuees back up. So I'll hand over to Commander VK Singh. He'll explain the functioning of the SRV to you.
Thank you.
We'll go that side and I'll explain you in the photograph. That will be much better for you. pilot, co-pilot, and the rescue chamber operator. So there is a two compartment. Myself sits with the co-pilot in the command module and the rescue chamber, where the rescue chamber operator sits, and that is the place where the submariners comes, who is from the distress submarine, comes to the DSRV and sits in that compartment. So you can see, I'll explain you accordingly. You can see this is the cutout of the DSRV, where we can see this is the forward part, which is consist of this part. This is the command module, where the pilot sits and the co-pilot sits. In this compartment, all the controls of the DSRV have been placed to maneuver, to navigation, for the communication with the distress submarine, with the mothership. This all job has done by the co-pilot, and I am responsible for the maneuvering the DSRV, go near the submarine, sit on the top of the escape hatch and take the rescues out of the submarine and again bring them back to the ship. This is my job. So if you see the closer look, the command module looks like this inside the SRV, where all the controls you can see is placed, and this is the compartment which is known as the rescue chamber. So this is the hatch from which the submariners rescues comes through the submarine and goes into the rescue compartment. These are the sitting place for the rescues who are coming out of the submarine. This is something looks like, once you will see this is the submarine hatch is opening and this is the DSRV hatch is making. So once it's being launched, I take over the control of the DSRV. I navigate the DSRV on the safety distance from the mothership, that is SC Sabarmati, and then after getting permission from the bridge, I start diving. Initially, the course towards the distress submarine or the bottom submarine is guided by the bridge. Once that distress submarine comes on my integral sensor, which consists of sonar, light, camera and DVL. So these are the various sensors are there. So once I detect this submarine on my integral sensor, after that I navigate the DSRV towards the distress submarine. I align myself on the top of the escape hatch of the submarine, goes mate with the escape hatch, equalizes the pressure with the equivalent to the pressure of the submarine. After that, opening of hatches is responsibility of rescue chamber operator. As soon as I feel comfortable, I give the clearance for the opening of rescue chamber operator, clearance for opening of hatch of rescue chamber by the rescue chamber operator, and the rescue chamber operator opens the hatch, takes the number of rescue into the compartment, and after that, once the transfer is completed, the hatch of the DSRV has been shut and the DSRV detaches from the submarine. After detachment, the SRV surface and its takes position stern of the ship, which is the recovery position of the DSRV, and this is the launch and recovery system yellow part, which goes behind and picks up the SRV from the behind and brings on one of the 3 DDCs. After that, the personal transfer happens. Person goes one by one to the DDC, and SRV is ready for the next round of the rescue exercise. In addition, we have a robotic arm. You can see in this picture, as well as you see in the front part of the DSRV, there is a robotic arm that is also called the manipulator. In case of the rescue operation, if DSRV pilots feel that the hatch is not clear or there is some rope or any debris is there, he can clear those debris or cut the rope using his robotic arm and makes the surface or the mating surface clear for the mating. After that, the system can go and mate on the hatch. In addition to that, this DSRV can also be flown away to any part of the world using a cargo aircraft or the heavy lift aircraft like IL-76, C-17 and AN-12.
What are the chances of being a submarine, being on the straight this thing where you can land basically?
What are the chances of?
Mating, for the mating you need to be a level or something like that? If
No,
something,
in addition to that, this system has the capability that if submarine is at an angle of till the 45-degree list and trim. This system can go align with the angle of mating of the list and trim and can mate with that angle to the any of the submarine.
I think that is a wonderful achievement with the angle.
Sir, I just wanted to know whether you have done any rescues in the past. What was this?
Actually, this area of operation concerned, if it's on the mothership, it's anywhere it can sail. It's only totally depends on the duration that the submarine is surviving at sea. Otherwise, it can be flown any part of the world using the heavy lift aircraft. Any part of the world it can be flown.
It can be flown with aircraft.
With aircraft, it can be flown anywhere, and there it can be placed on top of the mothership, and it can be operated in their waters or any international waters.
Is this the only kind in Indian Navy, or there are more?
In Indian Navy, we have two systems. One is placed in Vizag, and second is placed in Mumbai.
And it is a third generation submarine rescue system.
Yes, this is one of the most advanced in the world, and the most deepest non-tethered system. Non-tethered means there is no cable or attachment through the ship. It's a free floating submarine which independent of the, once it dives, it's a totally independent.
When was this commissioned?
This got inducted into 10th of December 2018. You will get a brochure. All the details will be mentioned there for their achievements and everything.
Okay, sir, I just give me more. Just for my copy, I require. Where have you done this exercise?
We do in the near about areas of Mumbai where the submarines goes for the exercise, as well as in Visakhapatnam there is a submarine exercise area is always plotted. Generally we do the exercise there, as well as in the any of the area which is up to a depth of 650 meters, we are capable of doing all these exercises.
What is up to depth of?
650 meters. This is the
650.
operating depth of the
Submarine.
DSRV. It can dive up to a depth of 650 meters. Any submarine has any problem getting stuck or distressed up to depth of 650 meters, this submarine can go, this rescue vessel can go, mate with the submarine and can rescue the submariners trapped inside the
Okay,
submarine.
so right from word go till you rescue people, what is the time that it takes?
If you consider the go from launch from here and to go and mate with the submarine and bring back, it will take about 1.5 hours. If you will consider that I am placed somewhere in suppose distress call is coming from the Australia, I have to mobilize from here to Australia on the aircraft. So this entire process will take about 72 to 96 hours from go, fly from here to Australia, place the system on the ship, go and rescue the submariner. About 72 to 96
Are we
hours.
also providing this as a service to other navies?
Although anywhere any navy who is operating the submarine will have any distress, we will be always available to provide this thing. Although in addition, to reduce the time to first rescue can be achieved with the MOU will be signed between the two countries, where the meaning of the MOU that those countries have the understanding of my requirements, my system requirement. So they will be already ready with those requirements, logistic requirement, like it will go from here to there with the aircraft. It has from airport to dockyard, it has to go on trailers and everything. So those requirements, if we have a MOU, we can reduce the time to first rescue, which is called TTFR. It's a very common term that is known as time to first rescue. That MOU is there, which can be reduced the time to rescue.
Thank you. So I would refer you as commander, right?
Commander VKC.
And you are.
He's a pilot.
I am the pilot of this rescue
Great.
vessel, who actually sits inside, takes this submarine into the water, goes to the submarine, mates on top of the submarine, take out all the person, accommodate inside this thing, bring them back, gets transferred into the DDC and goes for the next trip. Depends on the how many persons are there in the submarine. There is different class of submarine. Accordingly, the crew strength is
So
different.
you said total 90 people could be rescued.
In one go, we can rescue 14 people, and the trips we can rescue up to 90 people
Which is
in the
just,
pressurized compartment. If the submarine is not pressurized, it's just bottom, then we can continue going, because the 90 is the capability restricted according to the deck decompression chamber, which is down below. So each we have 6 locks, main locks we call in DDC. Each DDC having the 2 locks. So each lock has the capacity of the 15 people. So if the submarine is pressurized, that time the pressurized operation we can take of 90 people. If the submarine is not pressurized, just the rescue of the people we can do unlimited. Only it's restricted with the battery. We have to charge the battery after 6 or 7 operations, and then we can start this operation.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Chopper and aircraft here. The same.
Where am I? This is what
अरे फोटो पर है।
ये है 3rd जनरेशन सबमरीन रेस्क्यू सिस्टम, आप देख सकते हो। और इसकी खासियत ये है कि ये सबमरीन जब रेस्क्यू किया जाता है तो इसका इस्तेमाल किया जाता है लोकेट करने के लिए या ये करने के लिए। आप यहाँ देख सकते हो, ये है पायलट केबिन बेसिकली, जहाँ से कंट्रोल होता है। और ये आप देख सकते हो, यहाँ पे विंच, इसकी लिफ्ट है यहाँ पे उतारने के लिए वगैरह। इसकी खासियत ये है कि 650 मीटर जो है ये पानी के नीचे जा सकता है। और रेस्क्यू के लिए सबमरीन का जो हैच होता है बाहर आने के लिए, उसके ऊपर ये रेस्ट हो जाएगा। जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे, ये आप समझ लीजिए कि ये डिकम्प्रेशन चेम्बर्स है एक्चुअली, जहाँ पे जब सबमरीन नीचे होता जो प्रेशर बिल्ट होता है, और वो अगर बाहर जो बंदे हमारे होते हैं उसको अगर तुरंत निकाल दे तो काफ़ी वहाँ से उनको जीवित हानि हो सकती है और काफ़ी सारे कॉम्प्लिकेशंस आ सकते हैं। तो उसकी वजह से यहाँ पे जो सबमरीन में जो एक प्रेशर होता है वो सेम यहाँ पे मेंटेन किया जाता है। आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे
which are operated by our friendly countries, and this submarine rescue system, if after being proven, can be utilized for either an exercise or in case of an eventuality, we'll be able to provide assistance for rescue from a disabled submarine.
ये है INS कोची डिस्ट्रॉयर फ्रंट लाइन। आप देख सकते हो, ये है साबरमती, SCI शिपिंग कॉरपोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया की, और उसके ऊपर ये